You're listening to the Take Back Your Awesome radio show with your host, Colette Morris. Talking about all things health, mindset, family, and money.
So excited that spring is here. It's really here at last. We have lovely sunshine coming through and the weather is now starting to warm up a little here in sunny Hertfordshire, UK. So in our last episode, we talked about spring arriving and what we can do to be productive in the season. And today I want to continue that talk and let's look at sowing seeds. But to be able to sow seeds, you need to have faith because not every seed will sprout. Not every seed will mature. Not every seed will take effect or, will live or will survive. So how do you start to build a business and grow seeds? This is what we're going to be talking about today in today's short podcast because a question came up. And that question was, how do I get the best out of the sowing season? And that was a really good question. Because I'm not sure if you are aware, but in business we have seasons. We have a sowing season, a growing season. We have a harvest season and a preparation season. Now, right now, spring is your growing season. So in that growing season, we need to start to prepare. We need to start to prepare the ground. And the way that we do that in business is to sit down and focus on your plan for the next 90 days, your plan for the beginning of this new season. How are you going to approach that season? So let's break it down step by step. If you're looking to build, which we should be doing in this season, where do we start? Because everything has to come from a seed. Everything has to be planted. Everything has to be start to put in place. As a gardener, you don't just go out there and dig a hole and put a seed in. You have to prepare the ground. You have to make sure that where you are laying that seed, it is in the right light, it is in the right position, and that it will get watered and fed. So how do we do that in business? Well, if we use this analogy and say, right, if we're going to grow, we need to grow a certain percentage. You need to know what your numbers are. And if you don't know your numbers, then start now by tracking them. If you're looking at a certain level of income or level of growth in your business, you need to look at your activity that goes with that growth. You also need to look ahead at trends, and you also need to be aware of the market around you. These all play a part to help you in your planning, to help you make sure that you stick to your path and don't get taken off by others. So how do you do it? Well, first of all, if your goal is to have a certain number of customers, then where are these customers going to come from? How are you going to help these customers? It's best to look at building an avatar around these customers, because if you identify who your customers are going to be, where they hang out, what kind of things do they like, and maybe, even have an idea of some of their goals, their dreams, then it will actually help you to be more specific in your targeting, be more specific in your planning, in your thinking. So if you are not quite sure what an avatar is, an avatar basically is the person who you will be serving through this season. That could be someone who is so similar to yourself. And if it is, what are the things that you like? Where do you like hanging out? What are your biggest problems right now? And what kind of things would be needed to solve them? If you think like that, then you'll attract the people like you the customers who you can affiliate with, who you can have some level with. And if you have that connection with your customers, it will lead you a long, long way to build relationships and to build trust and authority in your business. So, if you haven't already, your action for this week's podcast is to work out who your avatar is. Who is your customer? Where do they hang out? How old are they? What do they like? And what do they do for a job? What they do for recreation? All those kind of things will help make it real for you. Because if it's real for you, when you actually put out an ad or produce a leaflet, it'll be focused on the people that you want in your business. I hope that helps. But I'd love to hear from you as to what things you're actually doing in this season. Planting seeds is key to having a really good harvest. Now, you're going to have to do a lot of work in the planting season because, as you know, it's really hard to get a seed to grow because there's all sorts of dangers about. There are birds that could come down and pick up the seeds that you've planted and take them away. There are insects and little creatures that come and disturb the earth, and that seed then gets exposed and dries up in the sun and it doesn't mature. Just like that seed, you have to nurture your customers. The messages you send out, they need to be consistent, they need to be regular, they need to be informative, they need to be able to help solve a problem. If you are able to do that on a consistent basis and send out quality content on your platforms, whether it's through Facebook, through Instagram, through Clubhouse, through stories, through reels, whatever the medium you choose. If you're consistent with the message you choose to send out now, it will help put you in a visibility stage so that people know what you do, where you are, and how to get in touch with you. They'll also listen out for your content as well, because if your content rings a bell with them and is useful, then they'll be looking out for more information from you and possibly contacting you direct. And this is the goal we all want to achieve, right? We want customers to come to us, not for us to be hunting them down. So think about who your customers are and serve those customers by giving them quality content. So I hope this has been really useful for you, and I hope I've answered that question. This is me, Colette Morris, and I'm here next week to give you more on our spring season.
Thank you for joining Colette Morris on the Take Back Your Awesome radio show. Tune in for our next episode on everything health, mindset, and business.